Everyone, I'm Rebecca Hulse, an Access Consciousness Certified Facilitator and just as of now a best-selling author. And I just wanted to say hi. I'm really excited to be here on the Fearless Women blog and I'm so honored to be one of them. Well, here we go. Hi. When I was young and a teenager, I had this idea, this list, as us women seem to always have, of the things that I wanted to do before I was 30. And it wasn't a big list, but it seemed like enough at the time, and it was to create a dance career where I got paid to travel, and create a business where it would also fulfill and sustain me, and find the love of my life. And true to my form, which I wasn't really realizing at the time, I made all those things happen by the time I was 20. I met the love of my life really young, and then we got into a relationship and started dancing together and working towards a job of dancing on cruise ships. And within about 6 months of deciding that that was exactly what we wanted to do, it showed up, it happened, we made it happen. And so I was like, shit, here's tick 1 and here's tick 2. And I was getting a little bit restless and ready to add more. And I knew that doing one thing at a time wasn't really my style. So I started a business teaching the personal development tools that I had been using to create my life as phenomenal as it was. And then I turned 20 and I was looking at my life and what I was creating and I realized, crap, I did it all. Now what am I going to do for the next 10 years? And so I, just by asking that question, which is basically the energy of what else is possible, and being willing to let the universe show me those things, those adventures, those creations, I ended up publishing 4 books. Traveling the world to places like Costa Rica, all over the States. I'm from New Zealand, Australia. I just came back from Venice, and this is going on a almost 3-year journey right now. Is another one of the amazing things that happened, and this all happened because I was willing to ask for more, and to know in myself that just ticking off a list wasn't actually enough. It was enough to get me started, but it would never be enough for me ever. And so what else? Show me more. What else can I do? Where else can I be? Universe, show me the adventure. Has really been my sense since I realized that tick done. There's the list done. So what happens when you finish that list? And so I found these new tools called Access Consciousness, which have totally changed and revolutionized the way that I am in my life and how I create and how much easier I make everything for myself. And so now my life is filled with the thought of, when I wake up in the morning, what do I want to create today? And what does the world require of me today? And where can I be the greatest contribution? Which is a totally different space to how am I going to get this goal that I've set out that I'm totally supposed to make happen, and then judging yourself for when you don't. And it's not to say that having that list is not a great thing. I would not be where I am without this list. There's just this sense of allowing yourself to be beyond it and to get beyond these places and spaces of judgment when you're willing to have more of a target and a sense of adventure and possibility. For me, it was me who made me take this leap. Like, no one else. I've always been encouraged to do exactly what I'd like to do and to create the world as I'd like to create it. And at the end of the day, there's not many people I know that are busting me out of bed in the morning and telling me what to do and where to go and how to do this. It's me and my awareness and my desire for a greater possibility and to create my life the way that I would like it. You really are your own driving force, and to me that's exciting. There's so much sense of choice and possibility, and this expanding freedom when you know that you're the one that's motivating you. You're the one that's just choosing or not. Do I actually want to do this? Okay, no, that's not actually that exciting to me. It's not big enough for me, or whatever that is. If you know who you are and what actually works for you, then you get to choose everything in your life and tailor make it in. Who doesn't love a bit of haute couture? I could fill up an entire novel just on what I've learned about myself. One of the main things, though, is what I just talked about, is knowing myself and knowing what does light me up and what does get me going and what is fun for me, and rather than not screwing all the norms or what you're supposed to do. And yes, a little bit of that too, but just knowing that, okay, cool, I do like this part of normal reality. And this part over here does not excite me at all. And being willing to have it be as different as you'd like it to be. Some of you might really love normal and really love this quiet sense of peace. Day to day, same thing. That might be extremely relaxing and comforting to some people. For me, it makes me want to tear my hair out. I get itchy after about a week in one place, so I tend to move myself around a lot and travel and do things in a different space to what I've ever done before. My question is often, what else is possible I've never considered before? And what would make this big enough to excite me? Something I realized in the last year through the help of a great friend and mentor, Gary Douglas, the founder of Access Consciousness, is realizing that if it wasn't big enough, or if I wasn't doing enough at the same time, I like to keep about 20 things on my plate. I know that seems insane, but for some reason it seems to work for me and my brain. And so if it's big enough for me, I'm excited about it. I'm talking about it. I'm creating with it. I recently started 2 massive projects, one for the El Lugar Foundation, which I'm currently raising $11 million for this project to purchase this beautiful land in Costa Rica and turn it into a haven for our planet, and to start preserving these beautiful pieces of land that are still untouched and can be an inspiration for the rest of the world to reverse it back to that. And the second project is so new I can barely say anything about it, but they're 7-figure projects. And as soon as I started talking about those kinds of projects and getting that kind of awareness in my brain, my own abundance and money flows and cash flows started skyrocketing. And I realized I was finally talking and working at a level that was big enough for me. And that doesn't mean that I am anywhere near there right now, but it's the starting and the progress that is changing everything. What keeps me motivated is knowing I always have choice. And by choice, I mean a capacity to make things happen magically if I desire to have them. And that seems like a crazy definition of choice, but using choice as a capacity seems to make it easier to do because it seems so mysterious. It's one of those things that everyone's like, yeah, but how do you choose? And it's different for every person, and then it's different every day. So there really is no rule book of choice, which what makes it so fun, because every day is a new day when you're choosing and when you're doing things instead of from the have to, or this is what needs to go on today, and I have to do this, and this is my responsibility. This isn't to say to give up your commitments, but to know that in every 10 seconds, you do have a choice. You have a choice of, okay, will doing this actually work for me? Or if I was really creating my life today, what would I choose? Or hey, this meeting doesn't actually work anymore, or you know what? This job is not the one that is contributing to me being the best being I can possibly be. I need to start looking at some different choices. Or, oh, this person is doing some ridiculous, crazy, bitchy thing right now. What could I choose that would make this not matter? And so this is really one of the key elements of my day and how I live my life that makes me always realize that everything in my life is there because I wanted it to be, or because I created it that way, even if it seems like it wasn't, or that something I wouldn't logically choose. Some part of me thought it was a great idea, so it's in my life. So knowing that I always have the capacity to change it all, and really all of it, any of it, is what keeps me motivated and keeps me going. And I would also say it's more of an inspiration rather than a motivation. The energy of the word motivation has a lot more to do with the outside getting you to do something. There's this, I know, this whip cracker idea with that. Whether it's with inspiration, like to have the capacity to inspire yourself and not require an outside source is really a true sense of independence. It creates this capacity that you know that you could do anything if you wanted to. And if anything, that's what I'd really like the world to know, that if you want to do something, you can do it. You just have to choose it. So thanks to everyone for having me on the Fearless Women blog. I'm truly honored, and I would love to meet you and maybe see you even somewhere around the world someday. You can find me on my website, RebeccaHulse.com, or all over social media. Just Google search Rebecca Hulse, and I'm sure I'll come up. Thank you, guys.